What's up, Space Pirates? This is your Admiral, the obviously awesome Dr. Disaster. And there's been a lot of talk in the past couple days concerning the Nintendo official announcement for the Switch 2, where Nintendo more or less told gamers what they were doing with regard to the cost of their games.
We're not just doing this for money. We're doing it for a shitload of money!
The cost of $80 for Nintendo games has pissed a lot of people off, understandably so. But what is really annoying to watch is all of the game journalists out there who immediately tried to capitalize on this situation on all the gamer anger by blaming these new prices on the tariffs that are now taking place with the United States. To be clear, this is utter BS, the blaming of the tariffs on these prices. The price points for the Nintendo Switch and their games will have been decided on over the past year or so. This isn't a spur-of-the-moment decision, and it's easy to tell what anyone telling you otherwise is up to.
He's full of shit!
For further evidence that this is nonsense, check out this X post here from Stuttering Craig, where he shows an article just published by IGN where they admit in breaking news that Switch 2 pre-orders are delayed in the US as Nintendo is now considering the impact of tariffs. Well, if they're just now considering the impact of tariffs, how in the world did tariffs affect the price? And the thing is, they didn't. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is because if you're angry with the price point of the Switch 2, you should know who to be directing your anger toward.
I have given a name to my pain.
And it's this dummy right here! Fortunately, I think most people know who they should be upset with, and to be honest, I find myself very dubious about whether or not this delay for Nintendo pre-orders in the US is actually due to the tariffs. My guess is that this is happening because of the way gamers have reacted to their price point. I have been absolutely enjoying the hell out of watching people attack Nintendo over this price change yesterday during the Nintendo Treehouse stream where they were talking about the Switch 2. People absolutely spammed the hell out of the chat with the words "drop the price" over and over, to the point that it reached what must be about 99% of the chat with those words. I suspect that Nintendo is reconsidering their pricing, which is why they're really delaying the pre-orders. Though, in public, this seems to have been their unfortunate response to gamers' negative sentiment.
I'm a trifle deaf in this ear. Speak a little louder next time.
Alright, me hearties, make sure to hit the like button on this video in order to drive away the evil algorithm monster, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to follow me over on X, where I keep a list of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle on that platform is Dr. Disaster 1. But anyhow, as I talk here, in the background, you can see a recording of all the chat during the Nintendo Treehouse where everybody just kept saying, "drop the price." Now, there were a few people in there that said, "Thanks, Trump," as if the tariffs had anything to do with the initial pricing of the game system and the games. But let me expand on what I was saying yesterday when we talked about the prices of these Nintendo games. I was clear in my video yesterday that I personally am not that bothered by these prices as long as Nintendo earns it. They can't make any duds at those prices. If Mario Kart World, for example, is as awesome as it looks like it will be, then the price hike doesn't anger me. That is provided also, of course, that they don't add things like DLC on top of this price hike. I'm not happy about the price rate changing, mind you. I'd rather not pay more for games, but as I pointed out yesterday, I'm an old school gamer who has paid more than $80 for games back during the days of the Super Nintendo. To be honest, I have been expecting this price hike for a long time. I'm kinda resigned to it, but that doesn't mean that I disagree with your outrage or anything like that. I simply don't feel it myself because I've been through this before. I had a paper route when I was a teenager, and I remember saving up the money I earned, paying for my own games that were $80 or so, including the universally despised stinker that was College Slam on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, I was a basketball fan when I was younger. We all make mistakes. But anyhow, I completely understand why people are pissed about this. Money is tight for everyone as it is, and raising prices right now is probably an asinine move, as evidenced by the chat in the background there. There were reportedly over 100,000 people watching that Treehouse stream, the first opportunity that people had to voice their opinions to Nintendo ever since the price point for their games was made public, and that chat is absolutely damning for Nintendo. Now here's the thing, the Switch 2 is slated to cost players $450. I don't think people are too up in arms about that. After all, a console is a one-time purchase, and we are accustomed to systems costing anywhere from $300 to $500. Granted, the specs on the Switch 2 aren't exactly pushing technological boundaries or anything like that, but pushing technological boundaries has rarely been the driving force behind new Nintendo consoles. In fact, about the last time I can think of when Nintendo was clearly on the cutting edge of graphical capabilities, that would have been right around the time that the Nintendo 64 came out. For a brief while there, they reached the industry pinnacle. So, suffice to say, I don't think the console cost is a major boggle for people, at least not compared to the cost of the games, because games represent a recurring cost. I, personally, am the sort of maniac who averages a new game purchase once or twice per month, so I will definitely feel the sting of raised prices, and there's something to be said for gamers attempting to nip this in the bud so that this doesn't become normalized and other developers follow suit. Speculation has been that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to cost $100 when it releases, which the army of rabid fans of that franchise will pay without even thinking twice. If Nintendo also raises prices like this, then clearly this will signal that the coast is clear for everyone else. So, I definitely get it. I understand this movement where people are trying to fight back, and frankly, as I said, I'm amused by it. I enjoy watching the market respond to bold moves like this from the likes of Nintendo by them getting slapped in the face. Sure, I like Nintendo. They've provided me with countless hours of entertainment over the years, but if they do something that pisses the market off, then they deserve to be called out for it. I'm not so rich that an extra $10 or so per game doesn't faze me. It definitely will. It's just not unexpected to the point that my personal knee-jerk reaction to all this news is outrage. No, my outrage was reserved for the fact that my beloved physical media is going to cost more than digital, which is of course what the focus of my video was on yesterday. I despise the idea of going to an entirely digital world. I'm a collector. It's what I do. So that is what I have been outraged by. If I choose not to purchase a Switch 2, which is unlikely because, quite frankly, I intend to stream a shitload of content with that system on this channel, but if that were to happen, if I didn't purchase it, for me, the focus of my disappointment would be the incentivization of digital over physical games. That's just how I feel. But I'm clearly in the minority on that one, no doubt about it, but I'm going to leave it there. Drop your thoughts on this situation into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.